Okay. Now, what I have here is like a handheld planishing hammer. So I have this one, and then I have a bigger throat. I'm just trying to smooth out this. Just right here where the patches all are. They're a little not very smooth. So I'm going to try to smooth all that out. Got a couple spots here I got to polish up here yet. A little bit with the grinder. Most of this isn't terrible. I just like to get it a little bit smoother before I start prepping this for bodywork. So you get to watch me play with that thing a little bit. It's basically, like I say, a hammer and dolly, but on steroids. Okay, you may have been watching me last night mucking around here. What I was doing is just using a stud puller to try to pull all these dents out of the back, and it still needs lots of work yet. And my lighting's pretty crappy here. The way this thing works though is literally you just throw one of these steel studs in. I guess you're kind of seeing it through the laps, but you just get one of these studs, it pops in there, and I guess it just does magic and somehow glues it onto there. Yeah, but it kind of goes on. Most of the time they don't pull out, but they do break off, or you just gotta grind them, clean them off. It's kind of the technique with it. I'm just gonna keep going at it till I get this thing, till I'm happy with. I didn't feel like cutting out the inner structure, and I have no way of getting back in there to hammer and dolly it, so I'm kind of going with this, using the hammer to try to massage everything fairly straight, and it's going to be what it is. I'm not going to go full gangbuster on it. As long as I can get it pretty close, I'll be happy with it. I'm going to shave the door, the latch off, and then, I don't know, whatever somebody was pickaxing into here, I'll weld these holes up. But yeah, I have that. There's a little bit of rust down here, so I'll have to fix that. Other than that, trunk's pretty straight. But anyways, back at this. Yeah, it looks like a mess. A lot of studs going on and off. But it's starting to take shape. It's still a little low in here. Here, she's a little rough. Sometimes you're seeing me pull and hammer. It's just because there's like a high ridge around, so I'm just trying to push that metal from that ridge up to where the stud is. Just trying to massage things into place. Overall, it's not too bad. Here's a little high, so I might hold this and put this down. It's getting closer. It's just down here I'm trying to work this a little better. I got most of it. It's not terrible now. Well, there it is outside. I was just spinning it around in the shop, so I figured I'd take a little video. I don't have the running boards on this side yet. It is aired down. Just curious what it would do. Hey guys, so you've seen me doing some dent pulling in the door there before. I couldn't get quite all of the dent out, so I had to use the stud gun to kind of give her a little bit of a tug. But other than that, yeah, they're not bad. The door is still a little wonky everywhere, but we'll just deal with that when the time comes. This door had 2 dents, but they popped out pretty good. Just had to use the stud gun to give them a little shot. Alright, you've seen a heck of a lot of screwing around going on. I got everything all done as close as I was going to be able to get underneath there, so I just like to put a coat of glass on everything just because I did do some welding and whatnot. I don't know if I'd say it seals it or does anything, but I'll first say I am no professional at any of this. I do whatever and it works, so. But anyways, I do a bit of glass. I'm going to sand this down a little bit. I'm not going to take very much of it off because the idea is not to, again, I don't put any more than I need on there just to do my initial coat. Then I'll actually do some mud. At least that'll be the next step. Yeah, I don't know what to say. It is what it is. The trunk is not terrible, so most of the hacking that went on was actually all done right here. Whatever happened, whoever put the pickaxe to the trunk there was that rust hole over there, so we fixed that. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep going at it, and if you guys are still interested, cool. You just hanging out, pup? Just waiting? All right, first layer of mud. I know this looks crazy excessive, and that's because I'm very wasteful with this stuff because I don't have patience to go nuts to do this like a million times. So what I normally do is I put way too much on first time around. Then I pull out the old cheese grater and I pretty much saw most of it all off. But makes life easier because I do that. I might actually use like a lead file or a rasp, whatever. I have to clean that because I don't know who used it last. I'll use that just to give it a finish, and then I hit it with the sander. But, you know, usually my goal is to try to hit it with 2 coats and then I'm done. Otherwise, you're going to sit there forever. Put a little on, little off. At least that's when I took auto body in school, they always said, you know, put on a little bit and then you got to sand. Then it's this blotchy mess. And you always, when you put some Bondo on, you sand it, you end up buggering up everything around it. So you end up, the best to do is put everything. And then if I have to put a little bit of Bondo here, you're best to put too much on everywhere so you have stuff to sand off everywhere. I don't know. I'm no professional. Actually, I'm no professional at it. I'm just telling you how I do it. Right or wrong, that's pretty much what I do. I'm sure there's better ways to do it, but like I say, Bondo's cheap. And instead of me pulling my hair out trying to do it all, I figure I just do it this way. Whatever. I don't know. It is what it is. Yeah, I'm doing the trunk only because it's basically done. I have still other metal work and things to do, but I figure I'm going to break this up so it's not so overwhelming just doing body work all in one shot. I'll kind of get this done. Hopefully I'll get it done tonight. We'll see. It's only 10 to 11 there. So, yeah. Once this sets, then I'm going to cheese grade. So I'll take you along for the ride. It's a little cool in here, so it might take a little longer than it should normally. But, yeah. All right, there you go. So, these spots aren't terrible. This is sanded with 40. I'll hit it with 80, and then when I prime, I'll do some high build, and then I sand that down. But with just a single coat, well, other than the glass, the fiberglass, the Bondo, I got like a little spot here, and here, you can see, there's a little low spot. But the rest of it doesn't feel terrible. It's pretty good. Like the primer will fix the imperfections. I find the less I touch it, the straighter it'll be. The more times I have to go over it, I find I screw it up more. So that's what I've learned anyways. And that works for me. That doesn't always work for everybody else out there. I know that looked like excessive amount of Bondo, but like I say, I waste crazy amounts. But I'm not sitting here for hours on end. Like, it took longer for it to dry. It's been 20 minutes from, I think, when I had my last video, when maybe I mudded it. I don't remember what I had going on there. But, yeah. And, like, I've almost nailed out the trunk, so. I'm going to do another little coat there and a little bit up top. And you'll see, I need a little bit here. So I'm going to shellac that, but I'm going to put a light layer around everything just so I can, I have stuff to sand off. With that said, I'm not going to do the cheese grade thing or anything of that anymore because I did that. So I got the worst of that off. So it's basically, I have just like, say, this spot. And right here, this might actually be a little high, but I got a little bit of a high spot. So I'll just put a little bit of mud in this area. And that should fix her up. And then call my trunk good. Well, that concludes my Bondo fest there on the trunk. It's about 10 to 12 Sunday. I think that's probably all I'm going to be calling it a night, that's for sure. Yeah. So this is pretty much good to go for primer, but I'll leave it. I'll kind of keep stripping the car and doing my business everywhere. Yeah. So thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.